Hey guys, and welcome back to Rhone's Corner. Now, this is going to be a little side series for behind the scenes building. I don't expect there to be many views on this, but as it can be quite boring just watching someone build. But in this, I will be going through different mods that generally don't have all that much cover for them, or when they do have cover for them, it can be quite confusing. So we're going to be getting into some Project Red, which is just pretty much wiring and pretty much redstone, but in a compact form. So we'll be getting into some of this. Chisel 2, which is just all these different the different kinds of blocks that aren't really vanilla. World Edit. Now this is quite a dangerous thing to use for server terrain manipulation. Do not just use this willy-nilly, or don't use this just on a whim if you don't know what you're doing with it. We will be running through some of the commands and stuff like that during this series. First thing we'll be doing is I'll teach you how to clear out stuff like that. We've got a village over there that's going to be in the way. Carpenter's blocks. We may get into a little bit of this. We probably won't be using it all that much, because using a lot of Carpenter's blocks can actually lag out your save/server. And Tinker's Mechworks. Pretty much an add-on to Tinker's Construct, and it allows you to do some pretty interesting things. If we do end up getting into any other mods, I will be adding them to this list. Now, first off, we're going to get into some World Edit. Now, as you can see over here, we have a village. Now, I'm not exactly expecting my laboratory to go this far out. Oh, that's what we're going to be building, by the way. During this series, we're going to be building our lab site, which will be extra sort of building for my Rhone's Towers series. Now, in order to get into some world editing, what we first need is our wand. Now, if you're in creative, you can just go into your tools and get yourself a wooden axe. If you don't have access to creative, then you go //wand. Make sure that it's not in capitals, and it will give you the wooden axe. Now you can see down in the bottom there, left click to select position 1, right click to select position 2. What does that mean? Well, in order to use World Edit on a local scale instead of a global scale, we have to set out the area in which we're going to work. So if I right click or hit the ground, or left click / hit the ground with our axe, you'll see that it says there, first position sets to 832 3.01110. Now that is the coordinates in the world of this particular block, the one that I'm standing on, not the one that I'm currently at. If we wanted to select the one above that, we would have to put a block down and then hit that. But we want to select everything because we're going to try and get rid of all this gravel here as well. Now, so that's selected from that block all the way to wherever we finish it there. And in order to select our other corner, so we're going to be selecting a square of sorts here. In order to select our other corner, we have to find the point that is most furthest away from everything, so the outside point, which will be here, and we follow it along until we find a intersection between here and the end of that road there, which this looks good enough. So we'll select that one. And so you can see that it says second position set to these coordinates. Now, if I was to do any changes right at this point, it would only change that one layer. Now, I don't want to change just one layer. I want to get rid of this whole thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go / expand. Now this is going to expand our selected area. And we want to go It's probably not that tall, but just to be sure that we cover everything, we're going to go 30 blocks. Don't have to type in blocks, but 30 up. So expand says that you want to expand your area. 30 says how many blocks, and up is the direction. So if we wanted to select blocks that are below the selected area, then we'd have to type down, but we want to select blocks that are above it. So we'll expand 30 up. You can see that it's expanded quite a significant number of blocks. Again, this is where you have to be very careful about how much you are doing. If you try and manipulate too many blocks, it will lag your server out and you will crash. Okay, now we want to get rid of everything. So everything inside that selected area, we're going to go // set 0. Now 0 is the number or the block ID for air. If we wanted to change it to anything else, we will just have to go into our inventory or NEI or creative inventory, whichever one you use, and see the number next to sponge. We're currently highlighting sponge and 19. So if we wanted to change everything to a sponge, and we hit in 19, but we don't want to do that. We want to select air. So set everything to air, and this may lag ever so slightly, but you can see that everything has now disappeared. Now, unfortunately, that cleared out the level that we were on as well, so it's deleted the ground. Now, if we reset our selection area, you could also do this by typing, I believe it's collapse or contract 30 down, then it would just get rid of the upper layers that we had selected. But we're going to do this way. It's the basic way. It's the easiest way to understand. We're not going into too many commands. So we've selected that area again, that square. We're not going to change it. What we are going to do is grass block is ID 2. So we're going to go set 2. Now you'll see that every time I'm doing a command, I'm doing 2 slashes. This is pretty much typical for most of the world edit commands. You'll have to do 2 slashes and then whichever command you're wanting to use. Now we have a lot of villages left over, so if we go /butcher, we'll go 30 block radius -A. Now that -A means it will select all mobs. So if we hit butcher, it doesn't count for villagers. Okay, I wasn't aware of that one. Alright, we'll just have to leave them there and they'll wander around and hopefully despawn because there's no houses to go to. We could go around and just do a full-scale massacre, but I'm feeling a little bit generous today. Now you'll see that I've already built something here. It was actually a last-minute decision to decide to record this, but you can have a quick look at what it does and then I'll walk you through the steps of what I took. So basically I've just made a contractable door with the R, the blue R, my logo on it. And if we step on this pressure plate from Carpenter's, now because this is a Carpenter's one, if we right click with grass block, it'll change it to a grass block texture. To get rid of that texture, you'll need your Carpenter's hammer, shift and hit, and it will pop that texture off. So we don't want that texture on there at the moment, we want to be able to see where it is. So again, we step on that, and underneath we have red wires that pretty much power everything. How does this work? Well, if we come over here, oh, there we go. Already we've got a new one that I haven't put up here. It is, actually I'll just use a normal sign. It is the Forge Microblocks. Forge Microblocks. And I'll fix all that up at another time. Now these covers are from the Forge Microblocks mod, and I thought that yes, I do have a crafting table. Now this is just another crafting table mod, JACB, sorry, not G. And pretty much this is all that is included in that mod. It's just a crafting table. If you don't have Tinker's Construct and you can't get the crafting station, then this is your next best bet. And we've used a diamond saw. Now there are different kinds of saws. You've got stone, iron, diamond, and a few others depending on what mods you have installed. And basically what I've done in order to get these covers if I've taken a full block and I put it in here, you'll see that it cuts it in half. Put it in again and it'll cut those two in half. In again and it'll cut them in half once more. And it will give you covers. These are the very smallest flat ones that you can get. You can also put them into strips. And from those strips you can cut them down into nooks. But we don't want to worry about any of that sort of stuff. We're only using covers. Again, this is just going to be pretty much a big tutorial / explanation series on how I've done a lot of this stuff. Alright, you'll see red alloy wire. This is from the Project Red transmission mod. Project Red comes in different flavors, different bits and pieces to the mod. Because it is so huge, they've broken it down into different bits and pieces. And the good thing about this red alloy wire is it can go on any side of the block. It can stick to the walls, stick to underneath, and go on the bottom as typical. This here is an invert cell. Now, basically what this does is you can see that above it here is red alloy wire that is constantly on, while this bit here is not. So these darker ones, these are connected to underneath the pressure plate above us. And then I've got a repeater here because the doors were opening and closing a little too quickly. Just basic repeaters, same sort as everything. Same sort as your average repeater. I think it just adds a few extra delay ticks to it. So that's basically all that's done. It's the same sort of thing on the other side, and it goes up the sides here. Now these aren't just the laboratory blocks. If we were, okay, we're going to get ourselves a lever. And we're going to replace this pressure plate with a lever, turn it on, and if we head back down, you'll notice that these have turned off because this one has turned on. Basically, it's the same as when you have, we'll put it like that, and we'll get a redstone torch. If you put the redstone torch on top, it is on. Put one underneath, that is activated, and that turns off. That's basically all that inverted cell does. But now you'll see that because this bottom wire is on, the top one is off. And it goes out this way because there's another pressure plate on the inside of the door as well as on the outside. So these have turned off, which means that we can have a look-see on the inside here. Now, I haven't exactly put laboratory blocks here. These are advanced drawbridges from Tinker's Mechworks. So you can have normal drawbridges which do pretty much the exact same thing, except you can't do advanced. I'll walk you through this. Alright, so putting a block here in this bit is just the camouflage of it. It just pretty much gives it a skin. If we open up the inventory here, you'll see, don't move that, you'll see that there are blocks in here. This is the inventory of the drawbridge, and the blocks will come out in this order. Now, I did have inverted blue lamps, which are constantly on, but I found that because there was a redstone signal behind it, those inverted lamps continuously turned off. So you'll notice that in some of these, I think it might be in here, you'll see that I do have inverted, sorry about that, you'll see that I do have inverted blue lamps here. That's because there's no redstone signal around them, which means that they need to be automatically on. So because of the way that I have put them in, I actually have two layers, you can see there, and that is because if I was to turn this off, you'll see that there's an R on this side, and if we go across the other side, there is an R on this side as well, and that's because I've just got two layers with pretty much a reverse of the pattern. Ta-da! Alright, and there's nothing up here for now. There will be stuff up here. Where should I go to next on this? Now, I actually haven't got any plans on how this is going to look. If it does come to a bit where I'm really stumped on what to do next, I obviously will pause this. I don't want you guys sitting there listening to me go, No, we hear enough of the villagers over there. We don't want to hear any villager noises over here. Alright, so the next bit. This is something that's going to be a little interesting. I tried this out on a single player save before I decided and found out that the redstone, the Project Red stuff, and sometimes the Forge microblocks as well, they don't actually copy over in World Edit all that well. So please bear that in mind. If you are working on something and you intend to move it later using World Edit, using the copy, paste, or cut, paste, do not expect your wiring to follow it. And when you do copy it across, it won't show up any wiring, but the moment you try to put wiring onto that block, it glitches and kicks you out. It will literally crash your client. Because the game thinks that there's a block there, but you can't see it. It's not actually there. Okay, this is going to be extremely dark when we, get everything set up, because this is all going to be, excuse me a sec, weather clear. Don't like the rain, it lags. Okay, so this is going to come out quite a ways, and unfortunately, because it's all indoors, and I don't intend on having any, what are they called? Not solar panels. The things where you've got the glass in the roof, and the sun shines through, and it makes everything light. People have them in their homes as well. I have no idea what they're called. I am completely lost on that at the moment, so we're just going to leave that. If I remember it later, we will come back to it. Okay, so you can see here quite clearly that it is rather dark. Now, we want some lights, but we want some interesting effects to those lights. We don't want to just, have lights constantly on, because that is a waste of energy. And energy consumption is one of the leading effects on greenhouse gases and pollution and yada yada yada. We're not in here for that sort of thing. So basically we want to have lights that turn off and turn on. Now we can simply wire them up to this and have them turn on whenever this is activated. We could actually do that. If I was to break you and break you... Ooh, I just broke our repeater. Whoops. Alright, so we'll move the repeater. We'll move you there. There. And I think I had that 1, 2, 3 ticks. And we have a grass block here. Alright, we're going to use our crafting table and see if we can make this into a flat surface. Ooh. No, it's not going to work the way that I want it. See, I want to have the grass bit on top still, but it's going to cut it in ways that isn't going to allow that. Let's have a quick look see here. Oh, it is going to do it. Okay, cool. That's alright. We're good. Very good. Alright, so I've got block covers here. Now, if we stick you there, and break you, can we... If I go there, and there, will that work? Will it work? Actually, you know what? I don't think that's really going to matter. Before I had an issue because I had everything wired up directly, and regardless of whether I was coming or going, it would affect the lights every time I moved over this. But with the repeaters here, it pretty much makes it a one-way signal. So we should being the main word here, be okay for this. Alright, we want to take this out this way, because we want to take these wires up top. And we might bring them up here, and we'll just make this bit here wider. Okay, so we'll break you, and we'll probably break you as well, so that we can get out. Oh, actually, we don't need to do that, because we've got a hole over there. I'll fix you up again. Alright, so if we bring this wiring around this way, and we bring you... we're going to have to do it this way, and this way to bring you off. We bring you all the way up the side. And here we will be starting on our lights. But unfortunately, we have run out of time for this episode, and that will be in the next one. So if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit that like button. This is a very, very big tutorial based thing. So if there's things that I'm not clear about, or things that you want me to explain a bit more, then please let me know, and I will do so, even if it means making another video for you guys. So make sure you hit that like button, make sure you leave any comments. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I generally try and bring videos out every day, will be new content. So up until the next time, this has been Rhone from Rhone's Corner, signing out. Peace!